Joining us, Director of Foreign and Defense Policy Studies at the American Enterprise Institute and former Deputy Director of Policy Planning at the State Department, Kori Schake. Catherine Rampell still with us. So, Kori, let's talk about munitions. How dangerous of a position are we in right now?
Well, U.S. operations last summer against Iran used roughly 25% of our precision interceptors and long-range strike missiles. The operations in Iran in the last couple of months have used another 25 to 50%. So we're running low, and it'll take 2 to 4 years to rebuild those stockpiles.
So is it about this war right now, or is it about a future war or a future confrontation that we might not be ready for?
It's actually both, right? Because we have known that the stockpiles of munitions are inadequate for a long time. It came up in the provision of assistance to Ukraine, which was rounding error on what we need for our own operations. And now we are pulling missiles and troops and ships from the Pacific, which is the area in which we most need to deter an aggressive adversary.
Donald Trump wants this new, very fancy, state-of-the-art naval fleet. That's fine, I guess. But aren't we learning in this war that it is the cheaper weaponry that is causing more havoc and is harder for us to defend against? I mean, we're using Patriot missiles to shoot down drones. The Ukrainians have shown that you don't need to have very expensive weaponry to combat that. Are we investing in cheaper and more effective weaponry for the future as it currently looks like it'll be?
It's a great challenge. We're clearly not investing enough. I mean, we now have Ukrainian systems protecting some American bases in the Middle East because we have invested too little. We're great at the high-end stuff. We need more attention on the low-end, cheap, disposable stuff.
Are we focused on it?
Well, I think the president's budget request makes a good start, but it's unlikely to be passed anytime soon. We're unlikely to get a supplemental that would allow companies to start these builds.
Would we be in a better position if we had a closer relationship right now with Ukraine?
Unquestionably, we should be learning. These last 4 years have been learning lessons from what the Ukrainians are experiencing and pulling their expertise into our own operations.
All right, let's talk about the other headline that's been out there for the past few days that is confusing me. Why would we do a currency swap, Catherine, with the Emiratis? They're very, very wealthy.
That's an excellent question, and I wish I knew the answer to it. I assume the answer is that Trump has friends over there, maybe or various people representing the U.S. government in negotiations of various kinds, like Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. They also have relationships with the Emiratis, among others, in the Middle East. Otherwise, it's very hard to explain because it's not like this kind of support, which is sort of like a loan. It's like basically backing their providing a backstop for their currency. It doesn't seem like it's necessary. They have a lot of U.S. treasuries in their own reserves. They are very wealthy, as you point out. And yes, certainly the UAE, like other countries in the region, is suffering economically right now because of this war in all sorts of ways, because they're being attacked by the Iranians, because tourism has shut down, because their lifeblood, their oil, has not been able to transit. There are lots of ways in which these countries are absolutely hurting, but it's not clear that they really need a bailout effectively from us, nor that this would go over. Pardon?
Is it us just trying to maintain a good relationship in the region? Could it be as simple as that?
Presumably. I mean, I think the better way to have maintained good relationships with our allies in the region probably would have been giving them a heads up about this war and coordinating with them ex ante, rather than trying to find a way to pay them off after the fact. We've definitely let down our allies in the region in many respects, but it's not obvious to me how this is the right way to do cleanup. And I cannot imagine, for that matter, that it's going to go over super well with the MAGA base that we are potentially bailing out an oil-rich country in the Middle East when there's already plenty of political unrest, at the very least, over our willingness to expend U.S. resources in the war itself. Now we are potentially bailing out other countries. And, you know, we're doing similar things here, or potentially anyway. Like Donald Trump has said he wants to buy a huge equity stake in Spirit Airlines, which is also a victim of his war because jet fuel prices have gone up so high. But we can't bail out everyone. I mean, that's the problem here. Like Donald Trump didn't think ahead, launched this very costly war, costly in many, many different dimensions, both in human costs and financial costs. And now what, we're just going to pay off all of the losers from this war? It doesn't seem like that's a super sustainable model.
So that gets to the larger conversation of where are we after this? I mean, does Donald Trump, what are the options? You were saying during the commercial break, it's escalation and humiliation. Which one is better for us?
Well, they're both bad for us. My guess is that the president and the Iranians both have a combined interest in drawing out negotiations for a long period of time. The president hoping that people will stop paying attention so America's failures are less visible for him. And the Iranians, I mean, they got their leadership transition thanks to us. They're in control of the Straits of Hormuz. The IRGC has a lock on the population. They're in objectively a stronger position than they were before the war. And so time's on their side.
All right. Kori Schake, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Catherine, thank you as well.